This is our first lesson in Basic Math 2. And if any of the lessons in Chapter 1 start to befuddle you or you're confused by it, you might want to reconsider taking this course because this is all supposed to be a review for you. What I want to talk about is combining positive and negative numbers. And I say combining them because if we talk about adding and subtracting, that can get to be a little confusing. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking numbers that are positive or negative or a combination there and combining them. Let's take a look at what we have here on the screen. If I say blues are positive and reds are negative, looking on the left, I have 9 blues, 9 positives. And you can put a plus sign in front of them, but oftentimes they won't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that because they leave plus signs out unless, of course, they have another positive. And if you look to the right, I have 7 more of those. Now that looks like a simple addition problem to you, 9 plus 7. But I look at it a little differently. I say there's 9 positives and 7 more positives. All I have got is positives, so I end up with 16 positives. I can write the plus sign in front if I want, but I don't have to, because if it's not there, it's assumed to be positive. Now let's look to the right. With negative numbers, if the first group of dots is 8 negatives, I do have to write the negative sign in front of that. If I'm going to combine that with the group of dots that I have to the right there, I have 7 negatives. Now I have 8 negatives and 7 negatives for a total of 15 negatives. And when we're doing order of operations, what we want to get back to is some combination like that, where we have plus and minus, that kind of thing. But now let's take a look at what happens if we're combining both positive and negatives. So I'm going to erase what we've got there, and I'm going to take a look at my second group of dots and my third group of dots. And in this particular case, what I want to do is I'm going to add some more blue dots. So now what I have are 9, 10, I have 11 positives. And I still have 8 negatives. Now the way I look at it is I'm combining these two. This time I have both positive and negative, so instead of coming up with a total, now I'm going to come up with a difference. In this particular case, the difference between the two is only 3, and I have more positives than negatives. So if I were to eliminate 1 positive for every negative, in the end, I would end up with 3 positives. Oops, my fault. We want to do that in red or blue. 3 positives left. All right? So, looking at it somewhat differently, if I wipe out this group of 3 and that group of 3, this group of 3, that group of 3, then 2 more and 2 more, what do I have left? 3 positives. Now let's go back and take a look at it a little bit differently from that. So what I'm going to do now is erase this problem, and let's put some dots up there again. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positives. And on the negative side, I'm going to put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what I have in the positives are 8 positives, and in the negatives I have 12 negatives. All right, now if we wipe out 3 of the positives and 3 of the negatives, 3 more positives, 3 more negatives, then 2 positives and 2 negatives, what do I have left? I still have left 4 negatives. I take the difference between the two, and in this particular case, that difference turns out to be 4, but because I had more negatives, I would put down -4. Now that's the basics of how we want to do this. All right? If you take a look on page number 16, you will see problems such as problem number 14, where there's 45 positives, 82 negatives, so the difference is 37, and because there's more negatives, it's -37. Look at 18, there's 15 negatives and 8 more negatives, so there's a total of 23 negatives. But now take a look at problem number, say, 22, where it says 8 minus parentheses -4. There's a rule for this, and I want to go over that rule right now. If in front of the parentheses you have a plus, and inside that you have a plus, let's say 6, those two positives make this, when combined, just +6. If by the same token, you had a negative in front and a negative on the inside, those two negatives make a positive. You've heard that rule before. So that becomes a +6. Now notice, those signs were the same outside the parentheses and inside the parentheses, and when the signs are the same, that makes it positive. But if we had a +6, that would make that -6. Or if we had plus a -6, that would make it, -6. So the rule is, if the signs are different, then that makes it negative. Now, why do you say that? Well, we're going to take a look at problem number 66. So I'm going to erase all our little positive and negative things up there. Problem number 66 says -12 plus a -5 minus 7 minus a -13 plus 4. In order to do this problem, the first thing you want to do is get rid of the parentheses. In our first case, we have right here, and I'll circle this in green, plus a -5. The second case is down here, where we have minus a -13. If we can rewrite that without those parentheses, what we're going to have is -12. And now, because those signs were different, looking at our rules at the right, that now becomes -5. And then we have -7. And now when we're combining those two signs, a negative and a negative, that becomes +13, +4. Now we have it in order. And what we do is one step at a time. I'm going to combine the first two, that -12 and that -5. I have nothing but a bunch of negatives. 12 negatives, 5 more negatives make it 17 negatives. -7 plus 13 plus 4. Now I'm going to combine the next two, which is that -17 and that -7, and then again, because we have nothing but negatives, we add the total and get -24 plus 13 plus 4. One more step, we now have a -24 but a +13. Now, because we have some negatives and some positives, we have to take the difference between the two. That difference turns out to be 11. But because the larger quantity was negative, it's a -11 plus 4. And now finally, in our last step, we've got 11 negatives, 4 positives. We need to take the difference between those two, and that difference is 7. And because there were more negatives, that answer is -7. I want you to do the problems on section 1.2, starting on page 16. If you have any questions, please be sure to bring them to class.